Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Pol. Welcome to Pol Ki Bol. Today I'm going to talk about why no one wants to be a manager anymore. According to a recent survey by a research firm, Robert Walters, they found out that 52% of Gen Zs do not want to be managers. There was a time when everyone wanted to be a manager. Corporate success meant ki I want to be a manager, right? Because you grow up the corporate ladder, you earn more, you are more powerful, you can take more decisions, better decisions, you can shape the way of the company, of the product, of the service, whatever, right? You could actually take strategic decisions and you could mentor people, coach them, lead them. Even you could even fire people, so on and so forth, right? Like there was a lot of power in being a manager before, but today, and if you ask anyone, right? If you ask anyone, not just Gen Zs, but mainly Gen Zs, right? They are a bit concerned. They are like, कि यार, I don't want to be a manager. मैं manager बन के क्या करेगा? Because the reality is the role of a manager, the tag of a manager has become very uncool. Okay. Most people, there was a time when if you were a manager, it was considered a status symbol. कि अरे सर आप तो manager हो. Like वो manager आगे आपके tag में तो you were cool. Right. And matlab, because it was clearly, correlated with you were earning way more than most people. You had the prestige of managing people. You could just tell people ये कर ले भाई, मैं बैठ के नहीं करने वाला, ये तू करेगा, राइट? और मुझे शाम तक दे देना, चल, ठीक है? नहीं नहीं, शाम तक भी नहीं, मुझे आज दोपहर तक चाहिए, चल चल. So as a manager, you actually had that kind of power, right? Not only in corporate India but across. So these people, whoever were like people like me, right, who were growing up, they're like, "अरे manager बनेगा तो hero बनेगा," right? And they saw all of that, and when we entered the workforce, also like 12, 15 years ago, and 20 years ago, folks who entered the workforce at that time, they actually saw, wow, a manager is really powerful, right? Your immediate direct reporting manager is a very powerful position, right? तो वो लोग ने जब वो देखा, हम जैसे लोगों ने, हमने भी बोला हम भी मैनेजर बनेंगे. But then we started like we spent more time in corporate, and Gen Z's also entered corporate like 4, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they also saw something which we had been noticing for a while. The power of a manager was really going down. Okay, like big time. Like in the sense that कि ये लोग को भाई कोई पूछ भी नहीं रहा है. Okay, ज़्यादा टॉप मैनेजमेंट इनके ऊपर इतना प्रेशर डाल रहा है, इतना प्रेशर डाल रहा है. एंड ये जो लोअर लेवल का लोग है, द एग्जीक्यूशन, पीपल, द पीपल हु आर एग्जीक्यूटिव्स, राइट? They, or the entry level folks, they don't care about what the manager has to say. To up till a certain point they will care, but after a point they're like, भाई तू ज़्यादा दिमाग मत खा, ठीक है? रिस्पेक्ट तो छोड़, मैं तेरी बात मान लूँ, दैट्स अ बिग थिंग, right? I'm not saying everyone was rebelling, but most people were like, hey, you know what? You're here to guide this team. You're here to run this project. You don't own me. Okay. What has happened is in the last few decades, in a good way, I would say, lot of, Indian companies, they realize that, yaar, ye manager log ko hai na, matlab, decision making needs to be at the top. On a middle level, you just, be a therapist to the people under you and just ensure they do what we tell you to do. Okay, whatever the top management tells, the middle management has to ensure their team and their subordinates have to follow. As simple as that, right? They realize that yeah, strategic decisions and shaping the product and shaping the vision and all, these people are not going to do. We are going to sit at the top and we are going to do it. And the people in the middle, they are just going to help execute things faster. As simple as that, right? So people who were under these managers realize after a point of time, यार ये तो सिर्फ छुट्टी अप्रूव करता है, ये आदमी सिर्फ छुट्टी अप्रूव करता है या छुट्टी डिसअप्रूव करता है, ठीक है? इतना भी कुछ हो नहीं रहा है कि भाई इसने बहुत दुनिया हिला देंगे, हम कुछ कर दिया है, ठीक है? So when something like that started happening, and they realized कि, and unfortunately many of these middle managers, they were not that competent also after a point of time, because they were managing people for so long, they actually forgot about the actual job that they were supposed to do. You get me? So when something like that started happening, so many people realized कि यार एक मैनेजर जो होता है, ये मोस्टली इनको सालों को काम नहीं आ रहा है, ठीक है? ये सिर्फ चिल्ला रहे हैं, इनसे कुछ इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो पा रहा है. ओके, ना ये बात आदमी मेरा कोई प्रमोशन वमोशन भी कुछ प्रॉमिस कर सकता है. इस आदमी के हाथ में या इस औरत के हाथ में मेरा हाइक भी नहीं है. तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज दिस पोजीशन फॉर? एंड ऊपर से जो कुत्ते सा प्रेशर आता है वो अलग, करेक्ट? So that is the reality of middle management in many places today. Not all, but in many places, right? And in the last 10, 15 years, like people have started disliking the term manager. They have, and also the position of a manager, right? Like it's uncool. And if nothing else, Gen Zs try to be as cool as they can, which is their right, and so were we. Millennials also try to do the same, still try to do the same. What Gen Z needs to understand is that what you need to understand about Gen Z is that these people, they really, don't want to be uncool. कुछ भी हो जाए लाइफ में uncool नहीं बनना है. ठीक है. So while they're super confident about themselves, but they also have their level of group think. They also have their herd mentality, right? Which means कि अरे मैं मतलब अगर मैं मैनेजर बन गया तो हम किसकी बुराई करते हैं सबसे ज़्यादा? मैनेजर की बुराई करते हैं. Correct? And who am I going to manage? Other people who don't give a shit about that position, right? So you are being, paid a little extra as a manager, which is not that much, by the way. The pay is less. The pay is less as a manager, compared to what you might think, right? While you have to handle other people, their emotions, their work, and so on and so forth, you are like, यार मेरे को इस बंदे से कितना ज़्यादा मिल रहा है? 10%, 15%, 20%? Hardly anything. Hardly anything. एक ज़माना था like your manager used to earn like double, triple of you, right? But now I personally know people, my friends, who told me that यार my junior earns like 1.5 times my salary because we hired him from outside और मेरा salary तो 2 साल से इन्होंने बढ़ाया नहीं है. बताओ. This has happened. This has happened often, and I have seen people go through this, and I feel very bad. कि यार मतलब how can your junior out earn you? And then the HR comes up and says, oh, we'll rationalize it. Don't worry, this and that. वो कितना time लेता है? We all know. So as a manager, you're no longer earning well. Okay, मतलब as well as you would think. You don't have the power other than just approving or disapproving leaves. Okay. Third, it's an uncool position. It's no longer that sophisticated position that everyone vied for. And today it is just like someone is like ki, ha, I manage a bunch of people. You're a therapist for them. You have to handle so much. You have to perform so much emotional labor because they are like, अरे इसने मेरे को वो बोला, उसने मेरे को वो बोला, आज मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा, आज मैं ये करूंगा, आज मैं ये नहीं करूंगा. It's like manager like अबे काम कर ले. Okay. And fifth is, of course, you risk losing out the touch that you have for your capabilities, which your individual capabilities, your as an individual contributor, your technical skills. If you become a manager for too long, there's a very high chance you might just forget about the actual work. And technology is flowing so fast nowadays. 2 years without actually working on the ground and you're done for. Like then getting back is like a huge challenge, like actually working with your hands and feet, right? Also, there is another thing that has happened though, which I wanted to tell you guys about, is that many, senior level executives, right? They are looking at their middle managers and being like, your job is not only to handle people, but 25 to 30% of your time will also be spent on doing IC work, which means tu काम भी करेगा. You are responsible for this particular project, for this segment, for this product, whatever it could be. You are responsible for this thing. And once this thing is done, okay, you also have to, you're responsible for this team, its performance, its growth, and so on and so forth. You get me? So these people are not even pure play managers anymore. There was a time when the manager also, by the way, used to get like their own singhasan. He or she used to get their own corner office, or they used to get like a proper office, a cabin and all. वो तो खत्म हो गया है. ओपन फ्लोर प्लान्स के हिसाब से आप ऑफिस में एंट्री मारोगे, एवरीथिंग लुक्स लाइक अ गॉड डैम कॉलेज कैंपस कैफेटेरिया. है कि नहीं? Why has that happened? Dude, firstly, it's related to cost cutting. None of this culture nonsense. It's about cost cutting. They're like, भाई real estate बहुत जा रहा है, क्यों cabin वाबिन दे, बैठो साथ में साइड में बैठो. I तो hate it, by the way. I'm like, bro, if I'm working like मेरे को है ना, I'm completely fine with cubicles. People are like, oh, I hate cubicles. Cubicles are like extremely dystopian and all. मैं like, तुमको कभी मिला है क्या cubicle कभी? मुझे मिला है. When I started my career, I had a cubicle. It was a huge ass space. And like I've worked in cubicles for like 5 years, like half a decade I worked in cubicles. ब्यूटीफुल. खुद का रहता है जगह, कोई बीच में नहीं आता, हेडफोन लगाओ, बैठ के काम करो. ठीक है. बाय द वे, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग, आई वाज नॉट अलाउड टू इवन यूज हेडफोन्स बिकॉज इट वाज कंसिडर्ड रॉन्ग. सो मैं उस टाइम से काम कर रहा हूँ, बाय द वे. सो एंड आई एम सो हैप्पी थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग. एंड बाय द वे, रिस्पेक्ट जेन ज़ी बिकॉज यू गाइज एक्चुअली रेबेल एंड यू आर रेबेलिंग फॉर द राइट थिंग्स. ठीक है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग you guys are wrong, but I can understand why very few of you actually want to be managers. I have actually met friends also who are like, यार मेरे को मैनेजर नहीं बनने का, बहुत हेडेक है, बहुत त्रास है, ऊपर से प्रेशर आता है, काम भी कराते हैं, साला दूसरों से भी काम कराना पड़ता है, दूसरों के नखरे उठाने पड़ते हैं मुझको, ड्रामा ज़्यादा काम कम. right? And they're like, पैसे भी ज़्यादा नहीं मिल रहे हैं. Plus now, as I mentioned, like it's not even a cool position anymore. As a manager, you are no longer cool also, you know. So I will definitely say that you need to, you know, अंडरस्टैंड दो दैट अभी के लिए ठीक है आप नहीं हो मतलब मैनेजर बीइंग अ मैनेजर इज अनकूल बट यू शुड नॉट टेक डिसीजंस इन लाइफ कंसिडरिंग व्हाट आर द ट्रेंड्स नाउ यू हैव टू लुक एट द ट्रेंड्स कि ये जा कहाँ रहा है यू नो एंड कॉमन सेंस विल डिटरमिन दिस कि you every company needs managers to run okay itself तो आपका जब मैनेजमेंट का मतलब जब टाइम आएगा when you have 15 years experience 10 years of work experience you will have to become a manager you can become an IC no doubt about it but the company is run by people only and companies will be run by managers okay the number of managers will go down and so on and so forth but I think corporate will also realize that okay we are bleeding managers we are losing managers people don't want to be managers what are we going to do they will start increasing the pay packages of managers as simple as that okay so that is something which I predict is going to happen but I can completely understand I can completely understand if someone says कि यार मेरे को manager नहीं बनने का है correct but having said that if you really want to grow and go to the top management you will have to go through middle management you do not reach top management without going through at least some form of middle management right unless you are like कि मैंने खुद का company start कर लिया some shit like that or I was directly hired to become the CEO of a company which doesn't happen right so that is the reality like you may hate this management position बट आपको मैनेजर बनना पड़ेगा आपको सच्ची में ऊपर जाना है तो मतलब एंड टेक इज प्रोबेबली वन ऑफ द ओनली प्लेसेस वेयर यू कैन बी लाइक कि हाँ आई एम एन इंडिविजुअल कंट्रीब्यूटर लाइक आप है ना हमेशा एक डोंट थिंक लाइक अ 2-bit कोडर एंड टेस्टर राइट देयर इज मच मोर टू लाइफ अदर देन बीइंग अ डैम सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर है कि नहीं लाइक देयर आर अदर जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस आल्सो so and being a people manager is an opportunity to get a good people manager mind you is an opportunity to really become a force multiplier. Okay, I know I'm sounding like one of those Economic Times articles, but you can genuinely work together and the sum will be more than the parts वाला हिसाब हो जाता है. The total will be more than the sum of the parts. When you actually work in a team, you guide them and you shape them it really works out very well. For that, you have to be very passionate about it. And I genuinely believe पैसा दो. Manager है बनाए कोई उसको पैसा दो यार. You can't have some junior employee earning 20 lakhs and the manager earning 25 lakhs. ये ऐसा नहीं होता है कम से कम 30-35 लाख होना चाहिए उसका सैलरी फिर because then it's a matter of respect it's a matter of okay is this even worth it okay as of now there has been a streamlining of middle managers but I think the role is going to evolve and middle managers are going to be those who are going to be like ki ha I have technical skills and I am a people manager the problem is there was an excess of non-technical managers for the longest time and those guys are getting squeezed out there okay so that is exactly what's happening so anyway on this topic this is all I had to say if you have any questions on this topic or any other topic let me know I'm live for another few minutes Gaurav Saha is like scope and tech these days tech sales hi Gaurav Saha thank you so much for joining Polke Bowl yeah I'm checking the chat bro so anyone else who's live you can ask me any question in the chat my wife was trying to enter and she's like क्या कर रहा है इतने रात को live but I'll have a conversation scope in tech sales dude okay so tech sales में ना B2B tech का sales में तो रहेगा ही रहेगा B2B okay business to business enterprise sales is always evergreen because देर इज नो B2B में सीन क्या है ना वो प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएट नहीं होता ज़्यादा ओके प्रोडक्ट स्लैश सर्विस में ज़्यादा डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं होता 19-20 का फर्क होता है तो आपको पेल पेल के सेल करना पड़ता है ठीक है यू हैव टू लाइक योर डिफरेंशिएशन अल्टीमेटली इज सेलिंग ओनली बिकॉज तुम ब्रांडिंग वैंडिंग कितना भी कर लो द रियलिटी इज लाइक ओनली द टॉप प्लेयर्स कैन डिफरेंशिएट themselves through the branding but sales is the only way you can actually go out and deliver the product your go to market will include sales okay after a point of time if any tech company wants to reach scale they have to undertake enterprise sales so बहुत scope है उसमें but Gaurav the challenge is enterprise sales because I have friends who do that is very tough ठीक है उसमें बहुत एफर्ट होता है बहुत खर्चा पानी होता है आपको मतलब 12-14 घंटे का काम है यार वो हाँ बट उसमें इंसेंटिव तोड़ के इफ़ यू आर अ गुड सेल्स पर्सन इट्स फैंटास्टिक बट हर क्वार्टर आपको एक ही सवाल आएगा हर महीना एक ही सवाल आएगा कितना बिका कितना पेटी गया बस So while tech sales, scope in tech, fantastic. Only problem is कि मतलब be ready. Sales हलवा नहीं है. Sales is tough. But if you are good at sales, you are gonna do well in life. As simple as that. Um, Srajit 978. Hi Srajit. Should I go for a regular MBA in my late 20s slash early 30s? Late 20s, yes, but regular MBA का क्या? इसके ऊपर I'm going to make a video very soon though. But I'll still answer your question because thank you so much for writing in. Srajit, if you want to do your MBA in your late 20s, it depends. Are you doing a 1 year MBA or are you doing a 2 year MBA? 1 year MBA in a ISB is fantastic, right? ISB is a great college. It has its pros and cons, but I consider it a decent college, provided you get good placement there. Otherwise, it's like 40 lakh ka loan and 24 lakh or 15 lakh ka package. So you don't want that for yourself. I promise you. And then, but हाँ 1 year का MBA है तो करो. 2 years का है तो yes, definitely. If you get an ABC, you get a Lucknow and all of that. Like K से कौन सा कोई code is fine. You can still do it, not a problem. But yeah, you can definitely do it. Early 30s is a tricky one. Early 30s में यार, I mean, वो थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी हो जाता है फ्रैंकली, बिकॉज अर्ली 30s में इट इज़ लाइक यू विल हैव फैमिली, यू विल ऑलरेडी हैव बिन इन योर करियर सो लॉन्ग कि आपका पगार उतना हो ही गया होता है, योर सैलरी एंड ऑल वुड हैव रीच्ड अ लेवल वेयर इट्स लाइक देन यू हैव टू कंसिडर, okay, if I'm earning 15 lakhs now and I join my MBA, after 2 years later I'll earn 20 lakhs with a fancy MBA tag, fantastic. What's the point? I could have just stayed here and kept jumping. But yeah, MBA is not only a short term decision, it's a long term decision too. बट हाँ, आपकी फैमिली का क्या कंडीशन है, आपका क्या कंडीशन है, लोन ले रहे हो नहीं ले रहे हो, पापा पे कर रहे हैं, मम्मी पे कर रहे हैं, कौन पे कर रहा है, देयर इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ऑल्सो यू हैव टू सी, पर्सनल लाइफ ऑल्सो मैटर्स, राइट? सो considering that, take a call. Gaurav Saha is like, I don't have a CS degree, computer science, but I'm good with communication, have been and have keen interest in tech. So is it possible to get a remote tech sales role? Why do you want a remote role? How young are you, Gaurav? You seem like a young person. Don't go for this remote bullshit. Okay, I'm being very serious. I'm gonna call it bullshit. If you're young, go to office. Okay. If you're young, please go to office. I'm being very serious because you'll learn. Sales तो is a people वाला role. सीखो थोड़ा, 1-2 साल सीखो, बाद में remote करो. I'm being very frank. Right? And yeah, if you have good communication skills, fantastic. And if you have decent IQ, you can understand any product more or less. And if you know how to work with internal and external teams, आप सेल्स कर पाओगे. बट बहुत ग्रिट लगता है, बहुत थिक स्किन लगता है, गालियाँ पड़ेगी आपको, आपके ऊपर प्रेशर आएगा, बट आपको आना चाहिए हाउ टू काउंटर इट, राइट? सो दैट्स द थिंग, गौरव. Next is Vipul Garg R5V. Thank you, Vipul, for writing in. Folks, by the way, please hit the like button. ऐसा algorithm को मजा आता है वो करके, so please do that. Vipul is like, what are your working hours now, since you have been working for about 6-7 years? No, I have not been working for 6-7 years. I've been working since 2013, and the only time I did not work in the middle was like was for 2 years during my MBA, right? So I have like, I think almost a decade of work experience. My working hours are like, I work remotely as of now, but what are my working hours? What do you mean by working hours? Like कितना बजे में 10-12 घंटा हो जाता है, 10 घंटा तो एवरेज पकड़ लो, easy. So that's how I work. Srajit is like, my profile is not that good for 1 year MBA colleges. I have regular IT experience from one of the service company. Okay, services IT company like TCS, Wipro, Accenture. Okay, my profile is not that good for 1 year MBA colleges. Why is it not good for 1 year MBA? By the way, if you're doing your MBA at that ये you have regular IT experience. You don't decide ना कि if your profile is good or not good. You give your entrance exams first. आपको अगर GMAT में अगर कितने का रहता है GMAT, वैसे भी 700 के ऊपर आया तो ही you are eligible for ISB. अगर 700 के नीचे आया, you don't have to think about all this ना. First focus on your entrance exams, then worry about I would say, be understand what you want to do is your, कि आपको कितने मजबूरी है, करना है क्या नहीं करना है लाइफ में, उस हिसाब से आप डिसीजन लीजिए. Lots of good questions, by the way, folks. If you are here, please put in any question related to career advice and I'll definitely share it with you. So Shrajit, just focus on your entrance exams, right? Gaurav says like, I'm 21, I'm from Northeast, so shifting to Bangalore won't be easy for me right now. Okay, shift to Kolkata then. Kolkata has IT companies. I mean, you can start remote also. You can go out there, go on LinkedIn, see if there are any jobs. Go on Naukri.com, see if there are any jobs. But don't you think it's easier and better to learn when near you? And I don't know, maybe Northeast also has companies where you can learn some tech sales. All right, Ashish Singh, 69614. Thank you, Ashish, for writing in. Here's a question which says, how people switch jobs post MBA after 2 years experience post MBA, either LinkedIn or through connection. Very good question. I've gotten jobs both ways. I've gotten via LinkedIn and I've gotten via personal connections. But always remember, your personal connection really matters. References. Post MBA, references will really give you jobs. Okay. And of course, your LinkedIn, Naukri and all that is considered default. वो तो आपको करना ही है, उसी से ही होगा. But the best jobs that you get are the ones that you get via reference, because you also get an insider view कि भाई ये कंपनी ज्वाइन करने लायक है कि नहीं, है कि नहीं. So that is also something that you need to focus on. So build your network, guys. Build your network. लोग पसंद हो ना हो, उनसे हाय हेलो तो करते ही रहना. जाके उनके उसको वैसा माला नहीं पहनाना है, बट यू कैन जस्ट बी फ्रेंड्स विद देम कि अरे भाई कैसा है, क्या चलो, सब सेट, अच्छी बात है, अरे मिल लेना, क्या करते हैं, चल बहुत टाइम हो गया. डोंट जस्ट कॉल पीपल व्हेन यू नीड अ जॉब. They'll stop picking your calls. You know. Srijit, welcome, Srijit. Vipul Garg is saying, oh, okay. So I'm going to do MBA this year after 2 years of work experience. Does that really make a difference in college? Is it 19-20 or a greater difference? I meant by work-life balance after your level of work experience. Mhm. Okay, hold on. There are too many things you're saying. I'm going to do MBA this year after 2 years of work experience. So fantastic, good for you. Does that really make a difference in college? Yeah, it does. Like many companies will only hire you if you have 2 years of work experience or 3 years of work experience. There are some companies who are like, we only want freshers. There are some companies who are going to be like, I want only engineers. So having 2 years of experience is very good. And also you will learn a lot of things, right? When you will have a different perspective. I'm going to make a video on this too. Is that I always recommend कि थोड़ा सा experience लेके, work experience लेके ही MBA किया करो. But nothing hard and fast, right? Nothing hard and fast. I know people who were freshers and did their MBA and they went to fucking McKinsey, right? So uh, like there is no hard and fast rule. But I personally felt कि I'm so happy I worked and then I did my MBA because मेरे को ज़्यादा समझ में आ रहा था चीज़ें जो पढ़ा रहे थे. But that's just me. Okay, I meant by work-life balance after your level of experience. Work experience has nothing to do with work-life balance. Okay, very simply, work-life balance only depends on your company and your manager and your project. That's it. Okay, और कुछ मैटर नहीं करता. उतना उतना आप याद रखिए. वो आपका 15 साल का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस हो, 5 साल का हो, 5 महीने का हो, आपका अगर मैनेजर निकला खड़ूस, आपकी कंपनी निकली खराब, आपका प्रोजेक्ट निकला खराब, यू आर डन. Okay, so it's a very local contextual scenario, custom scenario. Okay, more or less company culture flows down, right? But even within that, अच्छे company में भी खराब boss मिल गया और खराब company में भी अच्छा boss मिल गया. Although that doesn't last that long, by the way, because good people leave bad places quite often and quite fast. So work life balance and this has no correlation, let me tell you that much. um, Vipul Garg is like, okay, I think वो बात हो गया, sorry. So Ace DGO 4224. I'm 23, MCA, which is Master of Computer Applications, last semester. I'm trying for internship for the last 2 months, not getting any output. Data analysis is my domain. Okay, what are you trying to get your internships in, man? Like you should try Internshala or something, because this is what I did, in my many years ago, honestly. But I believe Internshala is still working. Keep, you're trying for internship for the last 2 months, not getting any output. Generally start cold messaging people on LinkedIn. Be shameless. Call up your friends. Be like, भाई मेरा भी लगा दे यहाँ पे. Shameless हो जाओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You're only 23 ना. You have nothing to lose. When you're 23, you have nothing to lose. Straight up, and keep trying, keep trying. There's nothing else to do. Keep doing courses, keep learning things, keep posting online about what you learned and so on and so forth. And do it all on LinkedIn. Take LinkedIn very seriously. Which reminds me, folks, please follow me on LinkedIn, right? It's in the link in the description. Follow me on LinkedIn. All right. So Srajit has another question. I have another question. whether is it possible to switch profile after MBA even after having 5+ years of experience in IT? I want to switch to operations. Yes, yes, you can do that. So many people do MBA just कि यार मेरे को नहीं करने का IT. I hate it. या फिर मेरे को ये नहीं करने का, सेल्स नहीं करने का यार. I know people who are civil engineers who are sitting in London right now after their MBA. वो कुछ तो सीमेंट प्लांट पे काम करने का मेरा दोस्त, वो सिविल इंजीनियर था, वो MBA किया मेरे साथ, वो लंदन में बैठा है, ठीक है, कंसल्टेंट है. So you can genuinely change your. Another one was an IT. वो एक दुबई में बैठा है, एक यूएस में बैठा है. ये आईटी वाला लोग सबसे ज़्यादा आईटी वाला ही होता है इन एमबीए कॉलेजेस, एंड दे जस्ट लाइक मेरे को आईटी नहीं करने का. सो यू कैन डेफिनेटली. ABCXYZ3122 is saying, talk about pollution and where India going in terms of TFR, total fertility rate, and old age housing. Will it be livable for middle class? Very different topics, huh, Baba? But I don't have much expertise in TFR and old age housing, but I definitely see old age housing increasing. मतलब वो एक market है. Like, I mean, our generation will probably be the last that will be obligated to take care of the kid of their parents, obligated, right, socially obligated. But you know, when our kids come along, I don't know how much social obligation they will have कि यार पेरेंट्स का ख्याल रखना ही पड़ेगा, साथ में रहना ही पड़ेगा. I don't think that's turning in our favor, and उस वक्त old age housing is going to boom. Pollution is a huge problem. It's a massive problem. आज मैं जिम गया था, मतलब I live in Mumbai, सब धुंधला है, everything is grey. It's horrible. It's the worst I've seen my city, and it hurts. Okay. Having said that, this is clearly because no one is following any, you know, construction norms and so on and so forth. Apparently, वो इथियोपिया में वगैरह कुछ तो वॉल्केनिक ऐश वगैरह आ गया, उसकी वजह से लफड़ा हुआ है. बट वो भी चला गया है, वो भी मैंने पढ़ा है थोड़ा सा. बट इवन विदाउट एनी वॉल्केनिक ऐश एंड ऑल, ऑल्सो आवर सिटीज आर शिट. पोल्यूशन इज अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम. लाइक दिल्ली का तो मैं देखता हूँ वीडियोस वगैरह इंस्टाग्राम पे, मेरे दोस्त रहते हैं, माई कलीग्स आर इन दिल्ली, एनसीआर. वो भाई 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 उनकी तो हालत ही खराब है. दिल्ली के अलग प्रॉब्लम्स है, बॉम्बे के अलग प्रॉब्लम्स है, बट आर सिटीज are not livable because the KRA, which is the key result area of our administrators, is not a good quality of life for its citizens. It's like कि there shouldn't be any riots, and जैसा चल रहा है चलने दो, keep paying your taxes. That's it. Now what is happening is the middle class and the upper middle class, we are getting a voice, and finally we are like, bhai, there is no escape. Most Indians have realized not all of them are going to, not all of us are going to go to the US and Canada, yeah, and Australia. खत्म हो गया है, मिडिल ईस्ट भी नहीं सब जाने वाले, करोड़ों को यहाँ पे रहना है. वी हैव टू इम्प्रूव दिस प्लेस, है कि नहीं? सो वो अभी आवाज स्टार्ट हो रहा है, एंड इन लाइक 3 to 5 years आई सी अ वेरी डेफनिंग वॉइस दैट्स गोइंग टू रीच डेफनिंग लेवल, यू नो, वेर इट्स गोइंग टू बी लाइक कि हाँ, मतलब अभी आपको सिटी लिवेबल करनी ही पड़ेगी. रास्ते खराब ही रहेंगे, but your air quality and all has to be focused on. Footpaths are going to be focused on. Cleanliness is going to be focused on, whether anyone likes it or not. They're definitely going to do that. Now, having said that, please remember this is not a unique situation. Beijing had a huge problem of pollution for years and decades. Same with like Los Angeles. There used to be a smog cloud in Los Angeles, right? एंड हमारे स्कूल के टेक्स्ट बुक में था यार, लॉस एंजलिस का स्मॉग क्लाउड. कैसी बातें कर रहे हो आप? स्कूल के टेक्स्ट, आप गूगल मारिए लॉस एंजलिस स्मॉग, आपको पता चलेगा. सो दे वर्कड ऑन इट. दे वर लाइक ओके, बहुत लफड़ा हो रहा है. दे फाउंड आउट व्हाट वाज द रीजन एंड दे वर्कड ऑन इट. इन लॉस एंजलिस बेसिकली दे पेड द पीपल कि यार ये पुराने कार्स बेच दो, नया कार खरीदो, अच्छा वाला गाड़ी खरीदो, इससे पोल्यूशन कम होगा. इन बीजिंग दे डिड ऑल ऑफ दिस एंड दे मेड वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स एंड दे इम्प्लीमेंटेड इट लाइक ओनली चाइना कैन. एंड दे built like skyscrapers jitna lamba air purifiers across the city. Can you imagine? Google it. How Beijing fought pollution. Beijing had the same problem 15-20 years ago. They solved it. We will also solve it. We just have to keep making noise about it. As simple as that. Oh, good topics here. Ashish Singh is like, I have 4.5 years of work experience, but I'm getting college like soil. SOIL MBA college hai. For 1 year PG, PM or MD, I'm Murshidabad. I'm working in India's biggest MNC. Should I choose 1 year or 2 year MBA? I don't know, man. 1 year or 2 year depends on your age also. It depends. It depends on your age also. But if you're young, go for a 2 year. If you're young, go for 2 years without thinking. And also depends on which 1 year, right? ISB hai to fantastic. So definitely do that. We have Ashish Singh asking, I'm seeing no growth in my daily work. Talk to your manager. You have to talk to your manager. When I didn't see any growth in my work, I spoke to my manager. And I was like, boss, long back, many years ago in another company. And I was like, ये तो सही नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, मुझे और दो, आप काम दो. And in some places I got more work, and in some places I was told, नहीं नहीं ये काफ़ी है, इतना ही करो. And then I decided I have to leave this place because I can't do this. I have to be, ये यहाँ पे growth नहीं हो रहा है मेरा. So there's that. Find more projects, find other projects. And अगर growth नहीं मिल रहा daily work में, so you just upskill yourself in other avenues. As simple as that. Right. So that's what I would say. Any other questions, folks? I think it's almost 11. No other questions, I'll drop off. By the way, once again, like, comment, and subscribe to Pol Ke Bol. क्या चालू है इधर? If no more questions, I'll drop off. You know. So yeah, just to recap, if you want to be a manager, be a manager. But remember, it requires a lot of emotional labor, and do not lose your technical skills. And basically, I know it's uncool right now, but it will become cool again very soon. And don't take life decisions based on what's cool or uncool, right? So there is that. And being a manager means you can actually shape the people around you, okay, in one way or the other. So as much as possible, try to be a good manager. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. This was Polkeball. I will keep making more of these videos. And thank you so much for all your questions. They were lovely. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya. Bye.